The year is 1900. Amidst a violent storm in the Aegean Sea, where waves roar with the intent to swallow all life, a group of Greek sponge divers was forced to seek refuge. They anchored at Antikythera, a tiny, desolate island standing like a forgotten fragment in the vastness of the ocean. When the storm finally settled, they decided to scout the depths. Elias Stadiatus, a seasoned diver, suited up in his heavy bronze gear, took a deep breath and plunged into the dark abyss, 150 feet below. But when Stadiatus emerged, he wasn't carrying sponges. He surfaced with eyes wide with terror, his face deathly pale as if he had seen something that did not belong to this world. He stammered about a bizarre graveyard on the seabed, about massive, moss-covered ruins and strange bronze masses scattered in the silt. The other divers, initially skeptical, took turns descending. What they found was the wreck of a Roman galley from the 1st century BC, a ship carrying masterpieces of art far beyond the understanding of that era. Among the exquisite marble statues and precious pottery, there was one object no one cared to look at. It was a small, rugged, box-shaped mass, encrusted in limestone and greenish-gray bronze rust. It looked like nothing more than ocean trash. It was tossed into a corner of the National Archaeological Museum in Athens and sat neglected for an entire year. Scientists at the time were only interested in the glorious bronze statues or the fine ceramics. They had no idea that inside that rusted block was a mechanical heart capable of shattering every concept of history humanity had ever built. Everything changed in 1902, when the outer shell began to crack due to changes in humidity. Archaeologist Valerio Staes was walking by when he noticed something impossible. Inside the rusted mass were metallic gears. Fragile, bronze gears with razor-sharp teeth only 1.5 millimeters wide. The archaeological world was paralyzed. According to the mainstream timeline taught in every school, mechanical systems this complex should not, and could not, exist before the 14th century. Finding the Antikythera Mechanism in 1900 was like excavating an ancient pharaoh's tomb and finding a brand new iPhone sitting inside the mummy's bandages. It was a glitch in reality. Its existence was an insult to logic. It forces us to ask one chilling question. If a device with this level of astronomical data processing existed 2,000 years ago, how much do we actually know about human history? For over half a century, this mystery remained locked in its shell. Humanity lacked the technology to look inside without destroying it. It wasn't until the early 21st century, when the most powerful 3D X-ray scanners were used, that the brain of the Antikythera was finally revealed. And what appeared on the screen made scientists stop breathing. The device wasn't just a few random gears. It was a labyrinth of at least 30 gears working in perfect unison. It was an analog computer capable of tracking the movement of the moon, the sun, and the 5 primary planets in the solar system with zero error. The true terror lies in the fact that when scientists read the microscopic inscriptions on the rusted bronze, they found coordinates of stars and time cycles spanning tens of thousands of years. There are references to the ancient Sumerian gods, beings known as the Anunnaki. In the Sumerian clay tablets, they described these gods landing on Earth from a place called Nibiru, bringing with them knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, and metallurgy. Could the Antikythera be a surviving fragment of the control systems from those very crafts? A multi-purpose navigation device used to align the Earth's position with other planets for space travel? The deeper we look, the more we see a terrifying correlation between the Antikythera's specks and megalithic structures across the globe. The numbers representing the lunar and solar cycles in this machine are the same numbers encoded into the spacing of the stones at Stonehenge, or the golden ratio of the Great Pyramid of Giza. A global network of knowledge once existed, a network where the Antikythera acted as the central processing unit. But the biggest question is still avoided by mainstream historians. Why, after the ship carrying this machine sank, did that entire technology vanish without a trace? Why did humanity fall into a collective amnesia lasting over 1,000 years? During the Middle Ages, people didn't even know how to cast a proper bronze gear, while 1,000 years prior, their ancestors possessed high-level computing. This doesn't look like a natural decline. It looks like a deliberate recall of knowledge. Imagine a scenario. An extraterrestrial civilization, or an advanced precursor race, handed humans tools far beyond their understanding. And when they realized humans were using these tools for war, or when the gods decided to leave, they recalled the blueprints and destroyed the factories. The shipwreck at Antikythera was perhaps the final attempt by a group of ancients to protect the key of the gods, before it was wiped from history. Look at the sharpness of those gear teeth once more. To create such extreme precision on bronze, you need stable power and control algorithms, what we call CNC today. Did the Greeks really build this, or were they just scavengers of a legacy? One theory suggests Archimedes merely found an original machine from the time of Atlantis and tried to rewrite the manual in Greek on its surface. This explains why the technical level inside far exceeds the capability of any craftsman of that era. We live in an age where we pride ourselves on silicon chips and artificial intelligence. But the Antikythera stands there as a cold warning. It reminds us that progress is not a straight line up. Humanity was once at the peak, once held the secrets of the stars, only to be thrown back into the Stone Age overnight. If a global disaster happened tomorrow, would our iPhones or cloud drives survive 2,000 years under the sea to tell our story? Or would they decompose into meaningless plastic, while the bronze gears of the Antikythera remain, holding their astronomical calculations as proof of an eternal technology we have lost? The Antikythera is not just a computer. It is a message in a bottle sent from a forgotten past to an arrogant future. We are not the first to touch the sky. We are simply amnesiacs struggling to restart a great machine we don't even fully understand. When you hear the rhythmic clicking of these gears, listen for the countdown of time. This machine is still running. It is still tracking the planets. And it is waiting for the moment humanity is mature enough to realize that the history we were taught is a great lie, and the truth is still deep beneath the ocean, where the true masters of the Antikythera are still watching us from the darkness of space. The truth is not in what we have built, but in what we have lost. The Antikythera is the key, and the door it opens might lead us to a place we are not yet ready to face.